Actually, it's him possibly pulling in.
Okay. All right, well, we're 1:30, so what were you saying about this?
I was gonna maybe pull that out because Mrs. Collins is here.
You want to talk about it specifically?
Yeah.
No problem.
And then I do need just a couple minute closed session.
Yeah, right, that's what, just trying to get to that point. Is that just a couple minutes, Tim, or is it a discussion?
I'll depend on you guys.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is the Amherst County Service Authority meeting. Is April 7th, 2026. The time is 1:30 p.m. This meeting is hereby called to order. All right, good afternoon, everybody. All right, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion on the table. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is citizen concerns and comments. Do we have any at this time, sir?
Ms. Collins is here. She spoke to the board at the last meeting. And in your information report, I put an update in there on the project. I include the cost estimate to make sure we are complying with the 50% policy that we have.
Are you referring to the Crabapple Lane project?
Crabapple Lane project, yes, I'm sorry. Crabapple Lane project. With three people signing up, we can make this project work and have 2. We're working on the 3rd one. There are 14 property owners there. Reaching out to each one of those. I'll put together a list of names and addresses so I can send letters to them and follow up with phone calls if I can. So.
Thank you. Does the citizen have a comment at this time, or would like to make a comment at this time?
At this time, as of this morning, yesterday, I didn't come up with-
Yes, ma'am, just so that way we can make sure it's official. Thank you so much. And would you mind stating your name and general area of residence?
Shirley Collins, Coolwell Road, Amherst, Virginia, Crabapple Lane.
Thank you.
As of this morning, yesterday, my water went out. So I've spent $200 today just to get wiring, just to get my pump to go back up. So I truly need water on my road. I got 6 children that I'm trying to raise. It's not mine, that, they need baths. From 1 year to 14, I need it. And I hope you can make it work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Collins.
So we are trying to make it work for the entire neighborhood right now. As soon as I get the 3rd one in, I'll bring it to you guys for official approval so we can move the project, get it on our schedule and move it forward.
I think, Mrs. Collins, I can say on behalf of the board that we're all very interested in making sure that people have safe, potable water delivered to their doorsteps. So we will work hard to try to make this happen. So, are there any other public comments? Anybody else? Okay.
No one else has signed up at this time.
Thank you. We'll move at this point to the consent agenda, which is item 4. And Ms. Collins, you can stay as long as you want, or you don't have to. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, a little bit more than I need.
Yes, ma'am. So the consent agenda, at this point, I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
All right, motion for the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to action items, which is number 5. The first part of the action items, Mr. Castillo, is a presentation on the FY27 budget.
All right, as I have done the past 2 years since joining the authority, give you an overview of where we have been in the budget process, where we're going, the goals for this upcoming year's budget, and just some basic high-level numbers at this time. We're working on getting finer numbers for the May meeting. What did you do? There we go. There we go. As we have two new board members here, and actually, I think, Frank, you might have been involved with some of what had happened. In 2012, there were official financial policies were made. I've been learning what they have been, so I'll make sure we're staying compliant. We are required under our VRA loan to have a $1 million reserve for rate stabilization to avoid any kind of rate shock should we need something like that. We're also required to have 115% debt coverage, which that takes our revenue minus our O&M divided by the debt has to be over 115. 2024, we were at 1.24. 2025 budget, I budgeted 1.5. I have not yet to see that. Our 26 budget, I budgeted 1.35. I'd like to have some cushion in there in case something goes sideways. These were some of the more newer things I've learned is our annual debt service payments cannot exceed 40% of our annual operating budget. That was news to me when I was looking through policies. And then we have a policy to maintain 50% of our total operating budget in undesignated cash reserves should we need to. That is best practice for any utility is to maintain a 50% because our industry is so capital intensive. If we lose something major at the water treatment plant, we need to be able to move forward and have cash to take care of that quickly. Our current debt obligations, as reported to you, the 2023 A and B are paid off and they're no longer on our books. So we went from $21 million of debt to $11 million of debt. We have paid off on some of these loans, so we're down to about 8.9 million, still outstanding in principal.
Question, if you
Yes,
mind
sir.
going back. I'm assuming that the city of Lynchburg debt service is paid off in, was it 2043?
Yes, there was a typo in that one.
Okay, that's it. You don't need to go back then. Thank you.
There was a typo in that. I caught it yesterday and didn't get a chance to fix it. So for 2026, the current budget we're in here, our goals were to utilize enterprise fund accounting, particularly through RDA, and that is still very much a work in progress. Minimize our rate increase. CPI for December of 24 was 2.9. We came up with a 3.5% increase on rates last year. In the previous year, we had no rate increase. Increase our salaries to make sure we're taking care of our team. 3% COLA was requested and a 1% merit pool that did occur. We were looking at doing something with our health insurance at that time through the budget process, and the board chose not to change coverage program. We met our debt service payments requirements. The Gateway funding was paid off on February 23rd, and the raw water pump station funding was also paid off on that same time. And to have long-term financing arrangements in place, and then they weren't needed. So I think we did very well with that. We're meeting our current capital improvements needs and working on the projects in our master plan. So for this year, we had the utilize enterprise fund accounting. So it hadn't happened yet. It's still, again, very much a work in progress. And if it continues to be a real struggle, I want to make a recommendation to you as a board that we need to go independent on financing so we can be responsible to make sure that we know what our data is, because right now I'm pulling data from several different points to get you an income statement at this time. Want to minimize our rate increases. CPI for December 2025 was 2.7%. When you see the numbers, I'm struggling whether even to have a rate increase. I know it's a real touchy subject. And from a best practices, we want to make sure that we're meeting our obligations, obviously, and we're not impacting with any shock rate increases that have happened in the past, and that's what I'm striving for. We wanted to cover our increased health costs, and provide less expensive options for our team, and you chose to do that. So thank you very much for that. We did receive a 7% increase for FY '27. And we're able to, because of your steps, we're able to increase our percentage of contribution for individuals if they choose the 1,000 from 80% to 90%, and then from 80% to 100% if they choose the high deductible program just for individuals. So we were able to do that, and I thank you for that. We will meet our debt service payments and requirements, meet our capital needs, and we're on our infrastructure master plan. Big items that we really need to move forward on is the AMI, automated meter information system, as well as an operations center. Oops, talk on it. So overall, our operating budget, budget amount was revenue 5.4, and our budget for expenses was 5.4 with a very minor surplus. Year-end estimate, we're looking at a significant improvement to that. We are looking at higher than anticipated revenues, as well as our expenses are a little higher, but not near as much as previous. Then in the proposed draft budget at this time, is we're working through numbers, obviously, 5.9 million for revenues, 5.5 for expenses, giving us $400,000 to put towards capital. So operating revenues, more detail on this, and this information is in your package. So I'm just going to move through it. Operating expenses, there are, in RDA, there are some quirks going on. Our payroll numbers are not hitting the appropriate line items in a lot of our categories, but it's hitting a line item called payroll clearing. And in my quick math, it all balanced out and we're fine, but it's not hitting the actual line items. So that's where the bottom numbers are, bottom line numbers are where they are. The interest expense, we had budgeted 205, 459. That includes interest expense that was paid on 2023A bond issue. You see that's why it goes down significantly for the future budget. And that's where our significant savings is paying off that loan. For capital, there was some funding in there, funding resource that we were hoping to obtain, showing at $12 million, projects at 10 with in principle, so we had a net of $300,000. This year, we're not anticipating those at this time, including in our revenue picture. Hopefully we can get some more funding and improve our revenue picture on the capital side, but I'm trying to be conservative. So that's where those numbers came out. On the revenue, there was the gateway financing that's gone. James River stabilization, that financing is going to be utilized this fiscal year, so that will be going away as well. That's your big change there. And then I'd hope to get some significant funding from VDH for our AMI project, and we did not score well, as I reported previously on that. So here are the projects. Looking at moving forward with some gateway sewer up to $1 million. That's the funding we currently have available. So that all balances out. I do have $1.5 million budgeted for 2 water line projects, 12-inch water line projects. One of them is the Route 130 from our water plant to give us our parallel pipe. And then the 210, which is about 600 feet of 12-inch to put a loop in and improve distribution in total in that area. So here is our principal from everywhere. And the city of Lynchburg is what our portion of our 12.68 or 86, whatever it is, portion of the city of Lynchburg's wastewater resource recovery facility. So that is there. So I don't know if you have any questions. I know I've moved through this pretty quickly.
So this is, you're not requesting approval, this is information.
It's his information.
And guidance that you're requesting from us at this time. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts? So, thank you for the clarification on the categorization of expenses, and why you've got some holes there. I didn't see the potential Applewood project
That-
in this.
that
Where
is
would
in-
that come from?
That is in sewer, water line extensions.
Okay. So,
There's funding in there for that.
assuming we get the buy-in from the
Assuming we get buy-in
majority
in-
of the neighborhood.
Yes.
Right.
There's a pot of money that is budgeted annually for these kind of projects as they come up. That's how we're able to do the Briarcliff project this year.
And I'm gonna float something into the board to see what they think. That I was interested in your comment about not getting the information you need from our partnership with the county for accounting purposes. I would think that maybe a conversation with the administrator would be worthwhile to come up with a target date or feasibility. And if you don't meet that, then we can go look outside, or if you can't find an agreeable window to get it done, then maybe we look for a consultant in the interim, or we look for our own person.
There is several packages out there that we have been reviewing in-house. Conversations with Tracy and with Jeremy, trying to work together to make sure we are working together. And that's one of the goals you guys gave me when I joined, is make sure we're working together with everybody. And so Tracy was going to be looking at the impacts of us going off on our own. I think that's for financial reporting.
I would say have the conversations with the county administrator and the finance director. I know the county's invested a great deal of money in that software. I would strongly urge you guys to maybe take a step back and try and work with them.
Oh, we have
We
been.
definitely, this whole thing about going off on our own again, I don't support that at all.
Okay, I understand.
So I'm just one board member, but we've been moving in this direction. It's hard on everybody right now.
I know, I
So,
understand that.
This early in the conversation about jumping ships, way too quick. All right? There's too many things we should be partnering on. And, this was a step in the right direction, so I would not support that.
Okay, I understand that. I have been very supportive in working with the county finance department, making sure they have all the information they need to be able to do their things. And Tracy is doing yeoman's work trying to unscramble the spaghetti that is there. So,
Other questions, comments?
Yeah. How long ago was that brought together when they merged it together?
we have been under the county's finance department from our inception, I believe. The change from Bright, which was a DOS-based program,
They've been working on it several years.
there have been several years,
I think they just got it in place, last year?
started to, yeah.
So there's still some growing pains.
Yeah.
Because it's still, it's behind quite a bit, isn't it? How far behind is it actually on the reporting side?
I think this fall is when the Treasurer's Department and the clerk's office are supposed to go live on it, which will help things dramatically as far as the revenue picture. Because currently they're having to do double entry because the Bright system is still alive that's how everything's being recorded into the county system for revenues, including our revenues.
Other questions? Mr. Martin's points are valid. I really want to see us work with the county. But on the other hand, this board, as an independent board, has a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we've got the correct financial information so that we can make the best decisions possible that we can make on behalf of the service authority. My absolute preference is to work with the county.
Oh, mine too.
But we've got to, I would just encourage you to come up with look at some commitments that we can work together and assess.
I'll tell you, purposely, I have not drawn any lines in the sand because I know this is a very fluid project. And everyone has worked extremely hard to move things as far forward as they are. So that's part of being the team. That's part of being the team, and I appreciate that.
And I see the hard work. I absolutely see the hard work. And with the personnel change, that's got to be accounted for, and I have a lot of optimism about going forward.
Me too.
All right. Any other comment?
I'm biting my tongue, so we'll go ahead.
All right. Any other comments on the budget?
If you could approve the direction and the goals, please.
That is, okay, so thank you for that. I think it's probably time that we look at the policies again. The policies sound like they're gonna work well, but maybe in this upcoming fiscal year.
We can do that.
We could work with Davenport. I know, the Maury Service Authority just updated their policies, which are very similar, but we just may wanna make sure that they are consistent with best practices.
That will be included as part of our financial master plan
Great, thank you.
that is in process.
All right. So, excuse me as I'm going to the top here. So the request is that we concur with the goals. Would you put the goals for 27 back up, please? The goals of the budget and the direction and process proposed. I think,
The process is, this next month, our next board meeting, you will have much firmer numbers and any proposed changes in the rates, which I will ask you to approve for advertisement only. And then at our regular June meeting, we would have a public hearing should we need it, and also then approve the budget.
any questions on the process? All right, at this point, we'll entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion if somebody's willing.
Let me ask just real
Yeah,
quick
of course.
before we do. We're not approving anything actually budget related. It's just really just based on the goals that are here. That is
Correct. Just the goals and the process as he's laid out.
Gotcha.
No actual numbers. All right, well, you want to make a motion?
Yeah. No, you go right ahead.
I make the motion that the ACSA Board concur with the goals for FY '27 of the budget and the direction and process proposed.
Just make one point. You're right, we're not approving the budget, but if you see some glaring thing that concerns you, I think it'd be beneficial to point it out to staff. Otherwise, they're proceeding in this manner,
Gotcha.
all right? So let's not come back in a month or whatever and say, oh, by the way, don't really want to do this, because I don't think that's fair to staff.
Or such as, let's change the health
Right.
program, or the COLA doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, all of that looks good. I was curious on some of the other side of it.
Yeah. But you have that right and opportunity in May.
And you'll welcome any conversation with a board
Please.
member about any of this?
Please, if you have some concerns or questions, I know Trevor, you and I spent some time yesterday. I appreciated you making time for that. Tom, you and I have been able to spend time. I appreciated making time for that. Frank, whenever you have some time, please reach out. And same with you, Turner. I welcome the input. Otherwise, and that's why I'm asking for approval for at least the goals and the direction, so I'm not totally floating out in the boat by myself.
Okay, the motion has been made. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item is item 5B, engineering services for the source water modeling. Mr. Castillo?
Yes, sir. You have a proposal. This stems from the, let me get to it right now. Here we go. This stems from our water withdrawal permitting process that we've been dealing with, and we received our draft permit, and then Mr. Pro and I met with Western Hydrologics, Steve Nebeker. Actually, a year ago summer, he attended a conference that we were both at and started talking about things. Then he came by and met with me individually. And we've been communicating what we need to do and all of that. We're in the process now of negotiating our water withdrawal permit. And I have received just yesterday the latest version from DEQ. It's much better than the first version, not quite where we need it to be yet. And whether to go to the expense of doing our own modeling or not is the question. I was hoping to know one way or another directly, but because I was told I was going to get the DEQ information middle of last week. I got it, like I said, yesterday. That would give me some time to review it and see if we truly need to go through it or not, go to that extent.
So is this a suggestion to defer this item to a later date?
I would recommend we defer it till the next meeting.
Anybody, is there consensus around that, or anybody do something different? All right, I think there's consensus to move on to the next item. Thank you, hope you have a good review of that, of the updated permit. Good luck with that.
It has been a learning experience, I think more so for their team than ours, but we're working on
It's
on it all.
disappointing, but oh well. All right, item 5C, the engineering services are at 210 Waterline.
210 water line. In looking at the fire flow issues dealing with Mormon Avenue that we had back in December, one of the things that jumped out was there is a gap of 600 feet of 12-inch water line. And should that have been there, I'm sure it would have improved the flows. And it would also take away some dead ends, allow some more looping in our system, which is always best practice. So this proposal is to get the engineering work done, the design work, so we can move forward next fiscal year with putting that out to bid and making that improvement.
Members of the board, any questions about this? It's briefed pretty well in the packet. Took a look, I thought the engineering fees were appropriate for the level of service that they're providing, and I think it's a necessary connection. So I'll make the motion that ACSA board authorize the ACSA director to accept the engineering proposal from Hurt and Profit for the Route 210 waterline connection. Costs will be funded by the authority's CIP budget for waterline extensions. The motion is made. We'll call for any discussion. All right, I'm sorry, did you?
No, I agree with you. I thought the engineering price was pretty good in comparison.
And I'll point out, this is not approval to build it yet. This is just getting the design work done.
Get the
And then
design
we'll have
work
a
done.
second vote, I guess, when it's time to authorize the construction. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item 6, the informational report. Anything you'd like to bring up on the informational point specifically?
Yes, real quick on the raw water withdrawal permit. We had requested a monthly maximum of 62 million gallons and a monthly for tier 1, monthly or annual of 730. DQ has come back to, and once we hit that tier 1 level, we would be required in that permit. We were required in that permit to construct the raw water pumping station, which is extremely expensive. DEQ's come back to us with a single tier permit, looking at 650, which should get us through the next 15 years. We're looking at those numbers, though, to make sure they are correct. I've provided information to Hurt and Profits, and we'll be meeting with them later this afternoon to see if the numbers make sense. And we'll continue having conversation. We have conversation scheduled for tomorrow afternoon with DEQ on that. Back one one thing here. In the infrastructure master plan, I've been reporting to you that we had gone through FEMA for grant funding as part of the hazard mitigation program, and it was tied to Hurricane Helene. I found out yesterday that we did not receive funding, but we're next on the list. So, and we have been put into that bucket, so should some other receiving entity choose not to move forward, we will be moved up and receive funding. I had a long conversation with the FEMA grant person to see if there's things we could have done to strengthen our application, and she said it was very, very strong. It's just the way the scoring versus all the funding. And if indeed Amherst County had been declared a disaster area because of Helene, we'd have gotten a few more points, which would have put us where we need to be. But fortunately, we didn't have that, so we were close. You do see in your package here, moving along with the James River Stabilization Project, and I did touch base already on the Crabtree Lane water line extension that you'd asked me to report back to you at our last meeting. I will let you know that we have gotten started back on Briarcliff, and we're over around 600 linear feet now. So we're moving forward. We're installing the first hydrant on the line at 500 feet per our standards, and the team is working hard to get that moving. And that's pretty much what I have to bring forward on my information report that's different, that's in your package.
Quick question, do you have anything to, looks like hiring that you have anything else, anything you want to add on hiring, or just what we read?
No, that's what's in the report at this time.
Okay.
We are fortunate to be able to have made offers that were accepted to 2 Class 1 license operators, trying to backfill Mr. Fitro, as well as move staffing around to focus, have someone really focusing on safety. Because while that was Mr. Fitro's job title, it didn't really happen as like it should have. So, and we found that painfully so during our FOSH inspection.
Yes.
And safety to me is paramount. No, I don't want anybody getting hurt, period.
All right. Any questions or comments on the informational report? Yes.
Can we get a more detailed update on where we're gonna be with number 7 at our next meeting, please? The unidirectional flushing and
Yes.
all that good stuff.
Yes, we will. We sure will. Getting our staffing levels up where we should be is definitely a key part of making that happen, as well as our new spring weather. I have made a real faux pas here. I'm sure you all know Chris Cunningham. He's our operations manager, and I drafted him this afternoon. Richard is on vacation, and Charlene is at a conference this week, so.
Glad to have you, sir.
so.
All right. Any other comments? Okay, moving on to item number 7, citizens' concerns and comments. Mrs. Collins, do you have anything else you would like to add, or? You may, yes, ma'am.
Along with that water line, I have 7 acres of land behind me that I own. And I'm not sure if I'd be able to get water there. So in the future, I'm waiting on my kids to go to college so that I can kind of do something with them to help them with that. But I do have 7 other acres that's in my name that will need water. So, I mean, it's not gonna go on tomorrow or the next day. They're just at the ages of 10 and 14, 10, 11, 14, so.
Yes, ma'am. Well, having water on the street should open up significant possibilities for you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anything else, Mr. Castillo?
No.
All right. That closes our citizen concerns comments. Any matters from the Service Authority Board? Mr. Campbell?
I just have a few questions. Mr. Castillo, we had some fire plugs in Old Town that was leaking a few weeks back, and I notified you. I guess all those have been
Yes,
shut off.
they have been repaired. The one particularly at Third and Clark is a temporary repair on it. As I mentioned in the board package here, we're scheduling that to be replaced. It's a little more complicated because it was never installed with a shut-off valve to the hydrant.
Now, is all those fire hydrants being checked?
That's what we're working towards with our unidirectional flushing program to get things. Historically, we have flushed, but we really haven't flushed the way they should be because it would always stir up. But doing a unidirectional program that we have established, we're bringing clean water, clean water, clean water, clean water, so that we're pulling all of that debris out of our system, making it so that whenever a fire does occur, we're not stirring up things in the middle of a year for others.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
That's it.
Mr. Gillespie?
I just wanted to ask for my own knowledge too, we're redoing the, I guess, DEQ permit, and it would be for 15 years essentially. Does that, I guess, hurt and profit accounts into like growth and everything of that
Yes,
nature?
our infrastructure master plan included all the known growth at the time, and 3 million gallons was the number.
Gotcha, okay.
Mr. Martin?
The hydrant with the broken stem was at Kentmore.
On Kentmore Road, that was repaired last week.
The day after we got the call.
Great, thank you so much.
I knew I needed you here.
All right, and I have no items. Board, we are asked to go into closed session today. I'll make the motion for the closed session. So I make the motion that the ACSA Board enter into closed session pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A3 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended for the purpose of discussion of the consideration of the acquisition of real property or the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiation strategy of the public body. Has a motion, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? We are in closed session. Thank you. We'll step in the back. Okay, at this point, we are out of closed session. I declare the closed session now closed, or now back into open session. We're back into open sessions. Thanks.
Gotta have a motion.
Thanks, Turner. I'm gonna make the, yeah.
You need a motion to come out of closed session.
Is that the way you guys do it? Sorry. Let me get back into my.
I make the motion, we come out of closed session.
All right, motion's made. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
I'll make a motion that the ACSA Board certify by recorded vote that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed session.
All right, thank you for the motion, Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion on this? All right, by voice vote, Mr. Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gillespie. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. All right, at this point, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks for keeping me straight that time. So you guys vote to come out. Okay.
Trevor?
Yes, sir.
Is